So I'll count it off.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3.
Just let's go.
1, 2, 3, go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the rehearsal room. Nick here.
Naren's here.
We're gonna do one of our world famous at this point dives into, I think, an artist that both Aaron and I enjoy, mutually enjoy.
So. Very much so.
I know we've been to a bunch of her shows
Absolutely.
in the past, but today we're going to talk about Chelsea Wolfe.
Absolutely.
And her first couple of albums.
Yeah. The Grime and the Glow and Apocalyptus.
Apocalypsis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate because I would spell it the same way, and that's probably completely incorrect. So I really appreciate her spelling.
It helps everybody out.
It does. Didn't help me read it, but nonetheless, if I was spelling it, I would have spelled it exactly the same way.
Yeah.
But yeah, as usual, I like to kind of set the table, kind of giving people an idea, other things that kind of came out around that time. So as Nick said, we're doing both albums. So the Grime and the Glow came out in 2010.
Yeah.
And the Apocalyptus came out in 2011, both of which actually were originally put out on Pendu Sound Recording. Yeah, so it was right before she got picked up by Sargent House. So you could actually get both. I believe it was the first album you could get on record and CD. The second album you could get on CD right away. They did put it out on record, and it took a while because I don't think it came out on Sargent House. I did write it down. The vinyl didn't come out on Sargent House until 2014.
Right. Yeah.
So they must have owned the rights, I'm assuming. You would know better than I on this kind of thing. I'm assuming they owned vinyl rights or whatever for a long time before Sargent House.
Yeah, probably. They probably either the deal she made with Penn Do Sound probably didn't include a vinyl release for the second album.
Okay.
And when Sargent House picked her up, that's one of the selling points on bands such as the ones on Sargent House, where you get a beautiful package. And, Apocalypse is a great looking album.
Oh, for sure. And even the original. It essentially had the same cover and everything. But, in fact, those are probably worth a hell of a lot more now.
Oh,
because of, and we'll eventually get to that when I first saw her live. But I did have the opportunity to buy both of them. And I thought, I'll get them after the show. And then they were both gone.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, that did suck. But, okay, so as I said, Grime and the Glow came out in 2010. Some bands and albums out of certainly my collection, and I know many of these are in Nick's, that not only came out at that year, but I also thought were ones that kind of would be probably things that may even kind of be an influence for her. Agaloc's Marrow of the Spirit came out that year.
Okay.
Alceste, here we go. Calice de Lune.
Sure.
Okay, this is the second album from Alceste. My
Second
favorite,
Alceste.
actually.
All right.
My absolute favorite one. The Deaf Heaven demo came out that year. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. The National, they will certainly meet later down the road.
Yeah.
The National's High Violet came out that year.
Great band.
Great. I love that album. Grinder Man 2 came out that year.
Right.
Yeah. Some ones maybe she likes, but I don't know how influential, but say Electric Wizard's Black Masses, High on Fire, Snakes of the Divine.
Yep.
And Triptychon's first album, which I didn't even bother writing down because there would be no way Thomas Tree Warrior would come through this microphone and choke shit out of me. So all amazing albums that, just kind of just kind of giving a glimpse into the year that music was, when her album was kind of hitting, and kind of interesting to see the other sounds that are going around it.
In fact,
with the Grime and the Glow.
Not to cut in here,
No,
I
please.
do have a recording of Tom G. Warrior's reaction at you saying the Triptychon name. Let me see if I can play it. There it is.
Yeah, it was him puking in his mouth as I tried to pronounce it. Yes. Like I said, I didn't even write it down because I was just like, there's no way I'm fucking pronouncing that right. They're not in a million years. Gun to my head, just pull the trigger. We're done here, pal. Have a nice day.
No, that great
please.
collection of albums.
Yeah, I just it's
was a
like
good
especially
year.
like the Deaf Heaven stuff, and it's like it's just an interesting time for music in general at that point. Where we're gonna see some changes. Alcest's the idea of doing that kind of mix of shoegaze and black metal was already kind of like a you either loved it, hated it. Oh my God, it was blasphemous.
Right.
And then along comes Deaf Heaven and says, well, if you hated that,
you're gonna not like us.
Right. Wait till the pink one. So
exactly.
just very interesting. And again, band like Deaf Heaven that she is obviously going to come across at some point when she's on one of their albums. So I just thought that was, like I said, I like doing that. It's always interesting to kind of look at what comes out around it. And with the other one, with Apocalypsis. A couple 2011, a couple of great local bands. A band called Death Kings put out Destroyer that year. Destroy Judas put out Wake. Earth put out Angels and Demons, Angel of Darkness, Demon of Light, Part 1.
Yeah.
A fantastic album. I know we're both big fans. Indians Guiltless.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Waits, Bad As Me, kind of a long-awaited album that people were kind of waiting on, so that was really cool. True Widow, here we go. As high as the highest heavens and from the center of the circumference of the earth. Yeah, apparently they go to the Fiona Apple School of naming your albums.
Red Sparrow's School of Naming.
Right. Yob Atma, and one that will also come around again, Wolves in the Throne Room, Celestial Lineage, came out that same year.
That's right, yeah. So, really quick.
Please.
We saw her
Yes.
at the Wolves in the Throne Room
That was
show.
the first time I saw her live, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's get into that. What, you saw her, that was the first time?
First time.
What did you think?
I was immediately, at that time especially, I was usually going online to look at who the openers were going to be anyway.
Yeah.
So I did go, which I think at that time was still maybe a MySpace? Maybe a YouTube?
It was
2000, we're talking 2000, what did I say, 2011?
11. That's already Facebook-ish.
Yeah. Oh, definitely Facebook. But I was just like, I can't remember exactly where I would have listened to it.
Oh, I see.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because I definitely heard some stuff.
I don't know that MySpace was active anymore at that point.
So probably YouTube then.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, I was like, oh, wow, this is so up my alley. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
The other thing, as I'm sure you remember, the thing that I also thought was interesting was Harasser was opening the show.
That's right. Yeah.
So it was already, as far as we were concerned, a stacked bill.
Yep.
So seeing Harasser, which was also amazing because I think they were supposed to actually, what is his name? He has his own, he's a noise kind of guy. He has his own podcast.
Oh, is this the Hive?
Hive Mind, yes,
Hive Mind,
the Hive Mind guy. He was supposed to actually open, but they told him no. So they did a collective thing together.
Yep.
That like this improv kind of, dude, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Just really cool. So now you're just like, all right, I'm already set. Let's bring on Chelsea. And this is when she was still, for the most part, performing on her own. She did not have a band with her when I saw her. So it was all just like loops and stuff with her pedals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow. Like, some of it maybe I didn't even know you could do some of that stuff, but also being blown away by her voice sounds exactly as it is on record. So this is the real deal. This isn't someone faking it. Like it
was cool because you see a band like Harasser, and everything they did that night was just, an assault on the senses.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
And then you sandwich Chelsea Wolfe between, Harasser's set and Wolves in the Throne Room.
Yeah.
Which is another assault on the senses.
For sure.
And it's, I don't want to say a lull in the momentum or anything like that, but it's just like a very welcome reprieve.
Yeah.
I get to breathe now.
Sure.
But also I'm gonna meditate and ruminate on stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because of the music that's now hitting me in the ears.
And by the way, you're gonna get a different shade of dark.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you got all three shades that night, or if there may be many more, but you at least got three shades of what dark music could be.
Right. Yeah, and that's something that I see, kind of, I guess, attached to her music is
For sure.
Dark alternative, dark indie.
Right. Doom folk.
Doom
you
folk.
see a lot,
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it fits.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
it
I think
fits.
she embodies it.
Yeah, and
Certainly in these albums.
for sure. I honestly think it's a thread that carries into like all of our albums.
There's no doubt, and as we get into these albums, I do think a lot of what you're hearing in these two albums are giving you clues to what you'll be hearing further down the line, no doubt about it. But there have been, her last one in particular was a little sunnier. Maybe it wasn't the last one. I'm so bad with the names sometimes. But either way, it was a little sunnier. In fact, the cover was brighter. You know what I mean? It wasn't His Spun. It wasn't,
Not Birth of Violence.
No, it might have been that one, actually.
Or the She Reaches Out to She.
Yeah. And it's just like, again, there were moments there, but it is to say, like, I agree. I think those, if you're describing her music, dark folk, doom folk, dark fits 100%.
100%.
If you will, she's a bit of a folky goth girl. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like, it totally fits. There's a darkness to it. The same way there's a darkness to, say, something like Grouper, or an influence that I definitely is there, but in a different way, but like PJ Harvey. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't just simple singer songwriter with my acoustic guitar and like hippie shit. Like, oh no. There's some dark shit being talked about in here. Yeah. But beautifully dark.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's honestly, it's very, and maybe it's influenced by this, because she did say that she had to rework a lot of those original songs because they were too personal.
Yes, I thought that was very interesting, because she does have technically an album that's never been released prior to these, and she completely scrapped it.
She scrapped it.
Like you said, she's like too personal. Don't want it.
Yeah, don't want it. She doesn't want that much of herself out there.
Right. And I thought was interesting, I don't know if you saw that, she also then went on tour with some friends that were like experimental artists in Europe, and she got a lot from that, which that's interesting. I would love to know, what did she get? Because obviously that's another thing I would attach to a lot of what she does, experimental to a degree.
Definitely.
Especially these two albums.
Yeah.
She does some stuff that's very, very interesting, where you go like, ooh, what else might she have been listening to?
That would have been awesome to know, especially at that time. Because if you're a person, because she is responsible for like the production on these two albums.
For the most part, her and her buddy. We'll get into that.
Ben Chisholm.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to know, I would love to know, like, what is the influence that you took from where?
Yes.
Like, what exactly is it that hit you in the way that you decided to say, okay, that's mine now. I'm going to keep that for these couple of releases.
Where I can do a song that has a bit of a singer-songwriter, almost folky country feel, and then I can go into something that sounds like pure looped noise as I have my ethereal voice over the top of it.
So there's one song on The Grime and the Glow that stood out when I first heard it, and that was the song Moses.
It feels like a single without being a single band.
Yes.
Yeah. It just has this. It's very hypnotic. It has this.
It's very droney, very repetitive.
Yes.
But it's not repetitive in a way that's tiring.
Yes.
It's more like, oh, tell me more. Even if you're telling me the same thing, tell me more. Right.
Well, you feel, as I interpret the song, it is asking, for those who may everybody knows, Moses led the people through the desert. He took them from freedom to Egypt. But it is this idea. She's looking for someone, help me. Things are heavy. I need you to help me with, help my journey. Yeah. You can feel that in what she's saying. You can hear that even in song. Like the down, 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 down. Feels like steps, like heavy steps. It feels like heavy.
I also, if we're going to take just the thematic Moses of the story of old, the fact that she's asking for help with another heavy task, right? It almost feels like she's kind of putting a little bit of the Sisyphus legend, carrying the stone up the hill.
I like that. Yeah.
So I mean, again, that's me putting that in there.
It's our interpretation of it. For sure.
But it she's almost regretfully asking this person to do yet another heavy thing that's going to affect a lot of people.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah. Like, I hate to bother you.
Yeah, I hate to bother you, but
one
I need
more
help.
journey, Moses.
Yeah.
You did the Red Sea. It's time to do another one.
Here's another heavy one.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, so that song, it really stood out, and I think a big part of why it stood out was when it begins, it has that sampled kind of beat in front of it.
Yes, the original does.
The original.
Yes.
Which she played a lot of shows with that
she did.
little beginning.
Well, again, I'm not I don't mean single as in, there's a PR guy and they're going, this
Right,
is not a
right.
band, this is the one.
Yeah.
But you just hear it. It's so immediate. It encompasses a lot of what she does.
Yeah.
And I think it's the one you can cling to right away. And it is this come down, down, it's just
Yeah.
clobbing along. It's it's easy to get the first time you hear it.
all the sweet spots
Yeah.
that a person that, that would listen to dark themed music
Has
you
a
know.
little, if I may, we talked about them earlier, but kind of hex and printing in the Infernal Method era Earth.
Yes, yeah, with that big kind of twang,
Yes.
almost,
Right.
the big cowboy chords,
Yes.
kind of, yeah. I can totally hear that, and I don't know, like that's what when I heard it on, it was for sure YouTube that I heard. It really stuck with me, and
Yeah.
like I actually wanted to use that song at my wedding.
Uh-huh.
I actually got married 2010.
Right on.
And but I was just throwing a bunch of music at the DJ guy,
I got you.
and he
I
didn't.
can only play Footloose so many times, sir.
Yeah, he was like, "Dude, 4 times Footloose is enough."
I mean, everybody else cuts loose.
I
but
didn't get Moses. Moses didn't get to cut his
It's a
Footloose.
deep cut.
Yeah, but I was like, man, that song is like what's hooking me.
Yeah.
And then you have songs like what is it, Cousins of the Antichrist?
Great one.
Which is a fucking great
I love that song. To me, like it feels sinister. It's like a
Yeah.
funeral dirge. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yeah.
Like she's warning you.
It's
I love
very
that.
witchy sounding.
Very.
right?
Which is another way to kind of describe her, and I don't mean that in a pejorative. In
Not-
any way,
not
shape,
at
or
all,
form.
not at all.
There is
Like-
a witchiness about
Like
her.
even seeing her at that show,
Mm-hmm.
I did feel like I was like, oh, she's probably into the craft in one
Oh,
way or
yeah,
another.
no,
you know,
that
like,
is-
she looks this very statuesque person, and she's dressed
She knows
very
how to pronounce
fashionably.
Wicca.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like she knows what she's talking
Yeah.
about. This one, and yeah, it was cool because
Yeah.
going back to that show, it was good having that little break between the loudness
Mm-hmm.
with this just melancholy beauty. you know?
Again, the different shade of dark, even different shade of heavy.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
Like
Definitely.
the songs are not. These are. And she'll get into some of them, but for the most part, it's like even when she's playing an acoustic guitar, they try to muddy it up, especially in this album.
Yes.
Yes. I know lo-fi gets attached to
Lo-fi,
it, but
yeah.
one thing too that kept hitting me, and maybe it sounds silly, but I felt like it's almost like what found footage movies are.
Yeah.
Because it's so, she's recording this on a 8-track Tascam. You know what I
Tascam,
mean?
yeah.
And it feels like it. Like somebody found a cassette somewhere, popped it in, and was like, "Who is this undiscovered amazingness?"
It's almost like the cassette tape version of the Blair Witch.
Yeah,
Project, right?
absolutely. Yeah, there's something grainy about it. There's
yeah.
it's not polished, it's not clean, and I really really love that about
yep.
that. And yet you can find such beauty in it, to say the least. I mean,
Hence the grime and the glow.
there you go.
right?
And her voice is just it's unbelievable.
It's what holds it all together.
It really is.
know?
Like it's another person who, for myself, like Mike Patton or an Attila,
Yeah.
their voice is not just singing, it's an instrument.
It's
They're
an
not
instrument,
just
yeah.
using it to sing. They're using it in ways that, when she's looping herself so that you get this kind of ethereal thing running as she's singing over it.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing. I love when people do that. And she
Yeah,
does it
yeah.
so very well. She just really knows she knows her range. She knows what she can do with it. And even on a first
she does it
album,
well.
she does it very well and shows that, like, oh man, where are we going with this? You
For
know?
that to be her first album, or
Yeah.
her first actual attempt at releasing something,
Yes.
it's such a fucking perfect way of releasing your music to the world.
Well, yeah, and you do wonder, again, as we were saying, like, so what does that first album? I imagine it's probably out there. You probably can find it in some way, shape, or form.
Didn't she release that compilation of songs that were like older?
Well, that's the next album, as far as I always understood it. That has Boyfriend and all that other stuff, where it's just pure acoustic.
Yeah.
Her with a violin. That's what. As I was reading, Sargent House kind of was like, look, you have these songs you've never released and you've never done. Why don't we put them together? Because it's not quite like what the last 2 albums were, and then
Right.
you can kind of put those out there. And I love that record. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, that's great.
But it doesn't have all the little effects. You know what I
It's
mean?
not she hasn't put on what would ultimately become the Chelsea Wolfe shoes.
Well, I wonder in those songs if it's like, it's almost, if you had to get somebody into Chelsea Wolfe, that would be the album you'd probably give them if you didn't know they already like stuff like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's probably her most accessible, and yet still, it still sounds like Chelsea Wolfe. There's it's just a different version. She's clearly influenced by a lot of different things. A lot. And I will say, I do wonder how much of an influence. I mean, at least as I've understood it, and it could be complete horseshit, but you just read, it seems like she has great ideas and comes up with amazing stuff, and Ben seems to be the one to be able to form them.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? He hears her ideas, knows exactly what she is. It's almost like they bounce off of each other. They're like each other's muse to a degree. Because I know he's a long time in that band playing it, and he plays a lot of the instruments on this album and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's just one of those things. I think that's an interesting relationship, and one with him to be so willing to go, I see somebody with a ton of talent. I want to hone that and kind of shape it into what she wants, and I don't need to be necessarily at the forefront of all that. I think that's kind of cool. I just want to
be along for the ride.
Yeah, and clearly is talented in his own right. Definitely. With the way he does that, because that says a lot. I mean, even when you go back, something like the Beatles, they talk about how they would go into George Martin and be like, I don't know, I want it to sound like a orchestra is having an orgasm. All right, see you later. And he's got to figure out what the fuck that means. You know what I mean? And then he does it, and they go, that's it. You know what I mean? Yep. So those kind of collaborations are always kind of interesting too. Yeah. My favorite one off of that album, without even 100%, is Half Sleeper.
Half Sleeper's great.
I fucking love that song, and the lyrics are just, I mean, when the line, I had to write it down because I wanted to make sure to get it right. When it's just like streaming in the wind cassette tape with damn it, my own writing. Always do this, when she's talking about streaming in the wind like a cassette tape, like you can totally see this. Yeah. And another one of those songs where it's kind of like, you don't like, she says like crashing through the windshield essentially, and then you're all across the asphalt. Like my interpretation of that song is kind of like, when the shit hits the fan, we're going to forget about all that petty shit that, why do we need to wait till we have something really happen to us to put all that petty shit behind and just enjoy each other. You know what I mean? And that song just sticks out to me every time. That's my favorite track off that album.
There was another song on The Grime and the Glow that she ultimately re-records for Apocalypses.
Bounce House Demons. They call it Demons on the
other one, but Demons and Moses get re-recorded.
Yeah. And then even on that one, depending on there were songs that didn't. Gene Wilder. Yeah. I did write them down because I wanted to make sure, because I actually, when I was really big into her, it was like, I want to get everything she's ever done. Yes. You know what I mean? So on that one, Gene Wilder, Move, and You Are My Sunshine. Gene Wilder's an instrumental. It's good, but it's whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Move, I really like that song. I wish that was actually on the album, which you can get. It's not hard. The You Are My Sunshine. I do like her. I love her version of it. The only reason I think maybe they kept it off, Johnny Cash, I think, did a version of it like a couple of years prior to that. Maybe that had something to do with it. Yeah. There was another one too that you can find on some. I wrote this down. Oh, good God. Sirenum Scapuli?
Serenum Scapuli?
Yeah, I think that's how you say it, which is really weird because I was listening to it and I was like, yeah, it's almost like a siren song. Yeah. Like it's calling you, out to the sea. Yeah. Right? And then I was like, well, let me look this word up because I'm sure it means something. Well, it turns out, it's a Greek island. Ah. And siren song, like, of course, like, I love that. Like, that's cool. You're getting that, and then I look it up the name. It's like, oh yeah, it's a Greek island. Like, oh well, fuck me. Okay, yeah, you're not brilliant, Aaron. You're just listening to the song.
You're just now getting it.
Yeah, But that's what I love about it. Like, I have heard that album a million times. This time, I really sat down and really read the lyrics. Yeah, and it's like listening to them for the first time all over again in a lot of ways because you get a deeper meaning for those songs.
Yeah. I mean,
that's another one of my favorites on there too. Is that one? And again, I would recommend. I know her band Bandcamp, it pretty much has everything. Yeah. So you can at least listen to it there. But when you buy the album, there are certain ones missing, and then if you buy the CD, they come with. Yeah. If you get like Daymare, Daymare, right? The Japanese label that always does everybody's shit and puts like 18 bonus songs, and you're like, fuck, where are those?
Yeah,
I
know.
I think that comes with it, but also interesting to see. First album had that many songs,
dude. That's another thing for a first album.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You really, not so much make an impression, but you're making sure everybody takes notice.
Yeah, and they're varied enough that you're like, okay, where are we gonna go with her? You know, like where could we? And again, you definitely hear the influence of stuff. You know, like again, PJ Harvey vibe. I think is all over. But again, that's in some way not fair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't want to do female to female necessarily, but there is something very close with what they're doing. You know, there's like. They both have a vulnerability, but also an aggression at the same time. You know, I'm vulnerable, but I don't necessarily need your hug. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need you to take care of me. Maybe Moses, but, the rest of them, But also,
well, she's just asking for a hand.
Yes, of course. I would definitely say, and again, the gothy part, Nick Cave, you get some stuff like that. He certainly in his younger years, you would definitely get out of him, And just to hear those influences and yet feel so of who she is.
Yeah. Like none of it seems contrived.
Right.
Like none of it seems like I'm trying to take on this dark persona.
Right.
And I'm gonna just like shoehorse in. Is it shoehorse? Whatever.
Shoehorn.
Shoehorn. There you go.
Different horse.
Yeah. English.
Different shoe.
English, not my first language.
That shoe
you're
goes
trying
on the
to
other
force
hand.
The horse has landed on the other foot. It's not forced in there, right? Like this is the stuff that she's known.
Yes.
For how long doesn't matter because now you got the music, the music that's the soundtrack to the mind.
Right.
That's making the music.
Yes.
Right? And
it's filtered through her.
Yeah. And I know we say this of we've said this of a lot of people in the past that like the vocalists are the mouthpiece, but to have her be the mouthpiece with that type of voice, even where it's haunting, it's beautiful, it's almost like a lullaby in certain places. It's very it's familiar, So it's like it's not something that's like, not that she can't do harsh vocals, because she does.
I know what you mean
in a couple of songs.
Yes,
right?
sir.
But anytime she sings, it's just captivating.
Absolutely.
Incredibly captivating.
But also willing to dirty it up. Willing to say, no, let's fuck with it. Yeah. I don't mind, I know I can hit that note, but what if we tweak that a little bit and make it sound like, it sounds like something's crawling out of my ass. You know what I mean? Like, holy crap, dude. Yeah. No, I again, to come out of the gates with that is just like, wow.
Yep.
And no wonder that we've seen this kind of rise, because it's not stopped at all.
No, it hasn't. Honestly, it hasn't. And that's those two albums, Grime in the Glow and Apocalypse, that's a 1-2 punch in 2 years.
Yeah.
Where any other band would take forever to release that second album. And she comes at you with, 2 newer versions of old songs, but what is it? Something like 8 other songs?
I believe so, yeah. About 8 songs on that one, yes.
Yeah, right? So it's like, wow, you've been busy.
And it definitely looks like when you get to Apocalypse, it's there's some money.
Yeah,
I'm in a studio now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't lose a lot of its experimentation. It doesn't. I mean, I prefer the other versions of Bounce House Demon and Moses, because I like how dirty they sound.
Yeah.
Especially like Bounce House Demons. It just. Again, it's so dark, and then like just that jing 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 jing, and where it's and you're like, that's an acoustic guitar, but what the fuck are they doing to it? It's like, well, they're recording it through an 8-track. That's what they're recording, most likely, and it's just like, once you get a better production, you get a different sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't lose anything. It just it just feels like a different version of it. But I mean, again, even without all those, in the next album, for me, neither one of those are the highlight anyway.
No.
I think it's great to hear them with better production. It's cool and they're familiar, but I think a lot of the other songs blow those two out of the water. I agree. Yeah. I mean, my number one song on that one is, and I think it is for a lot of people, especially when you look at the lyrics of it, especially is oh damn it, where is it there? I did right. I'm so bad. Yeah, Pale on Pale.
Pale on Pale. Yeah. Of course, yes. That's the best song on Apocalypse.
It just, I love it. I can never get enough of it. And, it's just like I said, to me, it's still an album that I want to listen to. I never want to just hear that song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because other songs too, like Myrrh, very drony, hypnotic feel to it. You know what I mean? I mean, dude, the track Tall Bodies. I mean, what a beautiful love song. Another favorite of mine. Yep. I mean, it's just, we could be two straight lines in a crooked world. Man, fuck that, dude. Like Paul McCartney romantic, goes, "Oh, dude, I can't, dude. You win. You're like, that's so. It's simple and yet means everything.
Yes, yeah.
She's like, we're up against, and you're talking. She's essentially like, this whole world could be shit, but as long as we have each other and we stay focused on that, everything else can go to the wayside, man.
There's this weird thing in like goth music that has that level of emotion and romanticism and kind of what's it called, like I don't want to say scorned lover or whatever, but like an unrequited love almost. Sure. Where like you love something that either doesn't notice you, doesn't love you back, or doesn't even know you're there.
No doubt.
Whatever the case, right?
I mean, all rock has that lineage to a degree.
Yeah, but like
yes,
I think goth.
Well, the more romantic version of it. A
Yeah,
lot of the rock versions are usually like, "You're an idiot, lady, because you don't want me. I guess I'm leaving town." Where they're more of like, "What can I do to make you notice me, please?"
Yeah, it's more. In fact, it's more Dracula than Nosferatu. Right?
Yes.
Where it's more sensual. It chooses its words wiser.
Yes.
Wisely.
The romanticism part. I think, like you said, it's always present.
And it's a level of emotion that I think people know is there, but they tend to overlook in dark music. Also,
I got you.
Because it's like, it's dark, it's menacing, it's brooding. But she puts that out there as much as anything else.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what, kind of allows the listener to attach themselves to her music.
Yeah.
A lot easier.
Well, it's interesting for a person who didn't want to put out a personal album, how much people feel these songs are personal to them.
Yeah. And now imagine what the personal lyrics might have been like.
Right. I mean, tracks Tall Bodies, I've seen her perform that many times live, and you watch couples, my wife and I do too, where we kind of embrace, because that's kind of our song to a degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what I mean, how much more romantic can you get? We're two straight lines in a crooked world. Like, it's just like, we're meant for each other. It doesn't matter the rest of that shit. And it's just like, God damn, that is a lyric, man. That is a fucking lyric. And that's another thing I think sometimes maybe gets slept on, is like, you forget, like, it's not just artistic, it's not just experimental. Like, there are songs where she's saying something, man. And really are like, wow. The way she says it is so amazing. And like I said, great lyric writer, maybe underrated to some degree.
Was the Echo show the first? You said that was
the first time I had seen her, yeah.
I don't know if the Eagle Rock Performing Arts show was before or
I did look up that one. That was I think it was January 26th. The same year that Apocalyptis came out.
Okay.
So
I saw her there and then at Amoeba.
I did see her at Amoeba when she did that was the acoustic album. That was, which is, again, we've talked about this in other things too, like her rise. It's just crazy to think, like, we got to see her for free at Amoeba.
For free, yeah.
There's maybe 30 or 40 people there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, everyone who was there maybe was familiar with her music.
Oh yeah.
Right? But it's like, we're never gonna have this again.
No,
and we
never did. Because the very next year that album comes out and Feral Love is on fucking Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, wow, and again, well deserved. I saw the only other time I saw her at a really cool venue. There's some church. It's like it's one of those, like, we don't really have a denomination, we accept everybody kind of church kind of thing. I can't remember what they called themselves. Great show, and she was amazing. It was just her, and it was just like, it was unbelievably great,
That's cool.
And her openers were fantastic, But yeah, it was really cool to see her there, and it was just like, you definitely see how special those things are now, because now she's playing big theaters.
Big theaters. I think she's played.
Well, didn't she open for Tool over in Europe?
UK,
Yeah, I mean, good God,
I know she's playing, big theaters, maybe smaller arenas at this point, She did say in a podcast that I listened with her that it was her like dream or maybe one of her goals to open up for Wardruna. And I know
Yeah.
that
Now she's
happened
recorded with them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude.
So that for a person like that to accomplish these
Yes.
things that she sets out for herself,
Yes.
it's pretty amazing. You know, I not that I was doubting that it would happen.
No.
But it's always cool to know that like that's awesome.
Yes.
Like, it's awesome because you're a great musician yourself.
Yes.
And now you're pairing up with people that you admire, that respect and admire you
Absolutely.
as well.
Absolutely.
And, you know, you're gonna put out music together. Like that's always the best. That's always
Absolutely.
the best,
And to see what, at least from our perspective, feels like earned also. Like
Oh, yeah.
you put the time in, you see it.
Yeah.
She's opening for these bands. She's, hauling her stuff around to do so. And
yeah.
now look at her,
Yeah.
And again, continued success for somebody who continues to put out amazing records. But yeah,
Amazing
this, to start with these two is just, it's just like they're still part of my rotation. It's just one that I definitely, Grime and the Grime and the Glow is probably still to this day my favorite. I hate to be that guy that look her demos, but the reality is it's just like it has everything that I look forward to in music in a lot of ways. It's moody, it's dark, it's like experimental, it's just doing weird shit, but there's also these beautifully romantic songs. So to me, it's just like to see her just growing is just so amazing, and it's just good for her, good on her, man. And
yeah.
like I said, from my perspective, at least, it feels like it was, I don't mean to speak, it's just to say done the right way, where it's like, it's through sweat, it's through putting out good albums, making good material, doing the shows, really working your way up that ladder.
It almost feels like whatever sacrifices she's had to make to put her music out there, it feels like those sacrifices are looking like they were worth.
Oh, for sure.
Having,
I think Sargent House too. Like you got to give them credit. I think that probably helped her quite a bit. I imagine it was a label that cared about her and saw the talent and saw what they could do with her. Going to something that's a little more boutique, where it's like, look, I don't have 50 artists I got to worry about.
Right.
I got 7.
Yeah.
And you're, I know that the, female artists in this way existed long before Chelsea Wolfe, but it did feel like certainly in metal, there was this momentum after her where Grouper got a little more talk. What's the girl from? She was in Red Sparrows.
Emma Ruth Rundle.
There you go. Right.
Marissa Nadler also came out.
Well, Emma Ruth, especially like, didn't she have her own? It was like a 3-piece band, and then 2 weeks later they were broken up. She's doing her own solo shit.
Her own solo stuff.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I just like I have no way of knowing if that was a direct result of Chelsea Wolfe. It just felt like there was a little momentum behind it. Like it almost felt like, and I hate saying this, it's like the system realized, oh, a female artist can sell outside of females.
Yeah.
Like people will accept this.
Yeah.
Then let's go find as many of these great artists as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Which, if you're a music lover, is great, but is also this part where it's like, man, that really sucks that you got to find one willing to kind of break through the barrier to get the rest of these people in when they're doing just as as much interesting work as she is.
And she did do work with a lot of other bands, and maybe one episode we'll go a little bit more in depth with the album she released. But she did work with Deaf Heaven.
Yes.
She'd work with Converge.
Yep. Did the soundtrack to
X.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
X. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, for a person that, again, looking at the trajectory that she put herself on, it only makes sense.
Yeah.
It only makes sense that you'd pair up with these other amazing acts.
Yes.
Other forces of nature almost, musical nature, whatever. And, and do something just as amazing.
Yeah.
Because that, what's it called? Blood Moon, the one she did with Converge.
That's right.
I love that album.
Right on.
Like I honestly could use more of her in that album.
I gotcha. Okay.
But just her being there is like, yeah, that's cool. That's a good release,
And I won't lie. I'm not a 100% low LA in its truest sense native, but I am, as far as anyone outside of LA knows, I live in LA, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's cool to see one of your own to kind of just like to watch them rise. It's just like good, man. You like I said, you saw them open and now here they are. Those bands would open for them.
Yeah.
And that's so neat to see. And just and again, especially when I've never been one that goes, no, stay in my pocket. No one else can know you.
Right.
No way, man. I'm like, everyone should listen to this person.
This is one, she's one of the performers that when I found out she was like on Game of Thrones in the commercial,
Right.
I was happy.
Yes.
I know I saw people posting like, it's sell out, whatever, and I'm like, no, like this is good.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what you're listening to, but like this is her music.
Right. She didn't compromise.
She didn't compromise anything.
No.
You know, and it's she probably likes the show for all I care,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, for all I know and care,
Right.
But I know I like the show,
Yes.
and I love her music.
Yes.
So for me, win-win. Right?
Yes. And look, it's her music. She can do whatever she
can do
wants with
whatever
it. I'm
she
not here to
wants,
tell her what to do. And again, like you said, to me, no compromise. That's all. It'd be different if it came out and it sounded like the Backstreet Boys, and you go, oh well, fuck me. Clearly, you know. And again, you know, the sellout part again, and that maybe someday we'll talk about that too. Is just
Yeah. I mean,
sell out in what way? How many people even realized that song was even on there?
Right.
You know what I mean? You know how many people probably heard that and never had a clue what that was? And then those who did had to also go, wait, what was that? It's not like it said it at the bottom. Like,
right, yeah.
You know, as you start to understand what it would take to even find out who this is and what the song is, you are cutting those numbers down in large swaths.
Yes.
So there's no way that was a sellout to her. It's not like suddenly she's playing the Madison Square Garden. Like, calm down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, as long as you're doing it.
She should. You know?
Look, again, continued success there.
Yes.
I as long as, you know what I'm saying, like when you see everything feels like it's coming from the heart. Everything she does, the Converge stuff, you know, the Deaf Heaven stuff, the Wardruna stuff. I mean, it's clear this is an artist that wants to explore. She wants to constantly. All of her albums obviously feel like Chelsea Wolfe, but they've been different enough as you go along. Some were doomier than others. Some are more acoustic. Some got some electronic. Some don't. You know,
are a little bit more metal up front.
Absolutely,
you know?
I mean, so to me, it's like I love all that. You know, Aaron Turner was on His Spun, right? I believe. You know, he appears on there. I think that's another thing for me is when you see her getting the respect from the same community that she loves and cares about, whether, you know what I mean? Like that, you know, when Aaron Turner is doing your record, when Wardruna wants to do something with you, Converge wants to do something to you, I think that says quite a lot.
You're on the right track.
Yeah,
right?
man. Like clearly you're clicking, and they don't get a sense of they're not doing it with the one hit wonder or the flavor of the month.
Right.
They see an artist that they understand, and collaborating is those kind of artists in general. You have to be able to do that. That's not something you just drop in and like, oh, it'll work. Like, no, man, you got to kind of figure that out. So you have to be open to that stuff.
Definitely.
You know.
So I was going to ask you,
Please.
Have you heard of any of her outside of the known bands that we've talked about? Any of her?
I know
music?
she was. There was something that was going around. I think it was like you could see it live. She was like playing in a park or something like that. It was like a little indie band that she had been a part of, and I remember seeing that going around. And I remember watching it and kind of being like, okay, and, you know, whatever.
There is I want to say maybe an EP's worth of music out there under the Mrs. Piss moniker.
Oh yes. That wasn't her alone, right?
No, it's her.
Was that with her drummer?
Folks are gonna have to forgive me. It was the drummer on the His Spun album.
Yes, she had that female drummer, and
it
she
was another musician
Yes.
who was in another band that Amy and I had actually gone to see. But also,
Okay,
I want to
please.
say something to do with Phoebe Bridgers. Like,
You might-
they were
Yeah.
somehow connected, like linked up
I
through
think you're
Mrs.
right.
Piss.
Yes.
Right? And there's a couple of tracks on that Mrs. Piss EP or album, I'm sorry, you know, that are fucking bangers. Just goddamn, I maybe I'm not the target audience,
Right.
but I feel it just as much as anybody else.
If I remember correctly, I remember seeing. I think she was saying. In fact, I'm looking it up right now, just because I am so. Yeah. When they were working together, the drummer, she was talking about the fact of, like, she had got that female drummer in there and it was like His Spun, so the drums were bigger.
Yes, yeah.
They, you know, the earlier one was smaller drums, more kind of jazzy stuff. She was like a rock drummer.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she was saying like it was so heavy and so hard, like it was inspiring her to do things she didn't think would fit with Chelsea.
Oh,
so
okay,
that
yeah.
kind of inspired, if I remember reading correctly, I think that was
That
it.
makes sense. Yeah.
And yeah, it's just the two people. It's just her and then Jessie Groney, is I think is how you might say her name.
Okay.
And they released the one album. But I know you're right. They definitely did something with. She did a project with
Phoebe Bridgers.
I'm almost positive there was
I
something
think it
she
might have
did.
been like one of Phoebe Bridgers' old bands, or maybe it might have just been the connection between the drummer and Phoebe.
Maybe. Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that Mrs. Piss release is fucking killer. Like if you ever get the chance to look it up,
Yeah.
it is fucking killer.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it is
I'll go
really
check
good.
it out.
In fact, listening to that always puts me in the mood. Of course, listen to Chelsea Wolfe first,
Right.
Mrs. Piss, and then I'll always kind of like gravitate towards like King Woman.
Right.
Like
it did
that type
feel
of like
there,
ethereal
yeah,
type
yeah, yeah.
of
There was a
heaviness.
lot of them kind of coming out in that same vein.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah. No, she's again. Again, continued success to her. I think she's really amazing in a lot of ways, and just the voice gets me every time.
all the time.
It just, and then I love that the care she puts into her live shows. When you see her, it's clear she's not like she didn't just walk in off the street.
She's
You know,
also
she's very into fashion. And
I was
shit
about
like
to
that.
say
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
very fashion conscious.
Yes.
And I can't see it anymore,
Yeah.
so I know everyone else gets to enjoy it. But like even in the past, when she would go up with some of the outfits she wore,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, this, you care, like,
Yeah,
you
oh,
really
yeah,
care
absolutely.
about
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
great. Like, and
This
I
is-
say it like saying like, thank you for caring that much.
Yeah,
you know?
she understands. Like I'm putting on a show here.
Yeah.
I want to give you something to look at while
Yeah.
you're doing this, and I just think she's again, sometimes it's very easy to just assume that artist means you just play guitar or they might be into a lot of different things, and fashion is definitely one of them. I think she put out some clothing herself or was part of something, even some makeup. It wasn't really mine, so I didn't buy it, but it's just that sort of thing. Like I know, like I follow her on Instagram, so it's like when fashion weeks are coming, she'll show some stuff, and there's stuff like that. So yeah, she's very much like. I think she just has an eye for what she sees as beauty and wants to
That's the thing,
put that out there in any way she can, whether it's through music, through her look, through whatever, and just try new things, do new things. And I think that's really great. And again, something you have said several times about, none of it ever feels forced.
Right.
It feels natural. It feels like that's just where she is right now. Almost to a degree, Bowie-esque. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where it's just
yeah.
like, this is what I feel like wearing right now. This
Yes,
is how I feel
yeah.
like being right now. There are
Yeah.
constants, obviously. There's not a lot of bright colors in her repertoire.
Yeah, but she does feel like liberated enough
Oh, for
to
sure.
express herself in whatever manner.
Absolutely.
And that comes across in her albums.
Yes.
In these two.
Yes.
Definitely in what's the Beauty is Pain.
Yes.
Where it's a lot more kind of electronic sounding.
Yes.
Right.
And a lot of great songs on that one that have that. Yes.
Yeah, and so like the fact that she can encompass literally all the styles.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's all her
Yes.
music, right?
Yes.
Like that's why anytime an album of hers comes out, I'm like, thank you, my dark queen.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
Are,
I
you have bestowed your grace upon us.
Yeah,
once again,
because you just you it's one of those artists where I don't really have to hear it, but I want to hear it because I don't know what I might get, but I have an idea,
And it's
you
gonna
know?
be good.
Yeah, yeah, it's just gonna be. Where are we going this time?
Right.
What adventure do we get to go on? You know,
yeah.
And to set the tone with these two albums, it really did. Like
Yes.
it was just like an immediate for me. I remember just
Same.
hearing it, and it was like grabs you, pulls you right up to the speaker, and be like, this is something I'm going to be into for the next 10 years,
Same.
for sure.
Same.
Like this is just unbelievable. Like and almost and again, I know she didn't necessarily do something that no one else has done, but it's just like somehow those ingredients, when she put them together and filtered them through her, just
Whatever-
felt like something I had never heard before.
Yeah,
you
whatever
know?
dashes
Right.
she was able to conjure up, whatever pinches
Right.
of whatever.
It's called cumin.
Yeah, whatever. Cumin, yeah, whatever mystical salts she used
Absolutely.
in.
Keep using them.
Keep
because
using them because it's fucking great.
It really is. And, again, continued success to her. I think she's just amazing. I always look forward to seeing what she's going to do next.
Yeah, yeah. So check out her music.
Please.
The albums again: The Grime and the Glow and Apocalypsis.
Yes.
Look up Chelsea Wolfe on Bandcamp, on YouTube, or any other streaming platform that you like to support. But yeah, Aaron, what have you been watching?
Quite a bit since our last conversation, actually. Some good stuff. Some. I watched one. I mainly because I like them. Benedict Cumberbatch, and she played the Queen. She played a couple of others. You've seen her and stuff. She's a really, really, really great actress. She was just on the last season of The Bear. I cannot think of her name, and I'm an asshole for doing it. But she's a fantastic. She won an Academy Award. Great actress, and I like both of them. They did essentially a remake of War of the Roses. That's just called Roses this time. Okay. Yeah. Very snarky and shitty to each other and great jokes and stuff like that. I wouldn't. Yeah. If
Is she British?
Oh, yeah. She's definitely British. Yeah, for sure.
Not Tilda Swinton is.
No. She's got dark hair. God, I feel like such a jerk for not remembering her name. I don't even know if I said the name you would recognize it, but you definitely would recognize her.
Yeah.
Again, she's a fantastic actress in general. And Benedict Cumberbatch, I mean, come on. I am a Cumberbitch. I mean, that guy's amazing. Olivia Colman.
Oh, okay. I know the name.
Yeah, okay. She's amazing. It's just fun watching them. The movie is, where all this is going. It's not, and essentially it's a remake, so whatever. You know what I mean? But they're really good in it. I love watching them just razz each other in ways that you're just, they say some shit to each other. It's just like, God damn, But it was a fun little watch. What else? Oh, Playdate. That was another one of those. I'm a sucker for those. Amazon, quick, put it together, hour and a half. Feels like movies we watched as kids where it's like, look, nobody's taking this seriously. It's just here for fun.
Yeah.
So it's Kevin...
Hart?
Yes. No. The other one, the white guy, Paul Blart.
Oh, James.
Kevin James. Thank you. And he's with the guy who plays Reacher on the TV show, which I think... It feels like they're trying to make him a John Cena to some degree. He's super big, good looking.
He's like a super buff guy.
Oh, yeah, you know what I mean? Which Jack Reacher, of course, he's super serious all the time.
Yeah.
This he gets to kind of put his comedy chops out there. Look, for an hour and a half, it was pretty funny. It was, goofy. You knew where all this was going.
Yeah.
At no time was it just like, oh, this is in my pantheon. But I like watching those movies. They're kind of fun, One that I went back to I hadn't seen in a long time, which I think is a little underrated, but I also think speaks to Zack Snyder's criticism a lot of times, which is style over substance, which was Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. Remind me of this one.
Sucker Punch is the one where the girl goes to the mental hospital.
Oh, yes.
And then all the girls, in her mind, they're singers, and essentially the guy is pimping them out. Don't they
escape on a train or something?
Oh, they fight on a train.
Yeah,
she fights a samurai that's as big as a giant. All. I mean, it's amazing and it's a fun adventure. But the movie's a little like, The thing I took away the most was like I hadn't seen it in so long. John Hamm is in it, and so is the guy who goes on to play Poe Dameron. God damn it, him and.
Wait, Oscar Isaac?
Yes.
Oh, Poe Dameron.
Yeah. Poe Dameron, sorry. Yeah. Oscar Isaac is in it, which I was like, wow.
Also known as Victor Frankenstein.
Yes, certainly now. But it was just like so neat to see them at such a young age, you know what I mean? And both of that where I don't know if either one of them were anybody at that time, you know what I mean?
Because I know Oscar Isaac was in one of the Bournes.
Yes,
right,
I think he's the one. Yeah, that's much later on after Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
And I think he was just about to be Oscar Isaac after that one.
He was still Oscar Hernandez.
Well, the one that really put him up there was that A Most Violent Year. I love cool that movie with him and Jessica Chastain.
Yeah.
That's one of my all-time favorite movies. Fantastic. But yeah, it was just fun to watch again. And again, to me, it epitomizes the Zack Snyder sometimes being more style over substance. Like, it's fun to look at. You're having a good time, but you're like, still not really clear what this story is.
That's honestly what I thought of not just Sucker Punch, but Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah.
Those Moon movies.
Oh, those were bad.
And also,
very disappointing.
Justice League,
Well, I liked the director cut, though. I thought the Snyder cut, I liked it way more. I really felt like, for a guy who doesn't know the comics especially, I felt like I got way more out of it and understood the story much better. But I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think
being into the characters and stuff like that, I'm like, it goes back to my complaint of comic movies and why they don't work. You already had the story written out for you. All you got to do is make the pictures move, but you still.
And as we've discussed a million times, I'm with you. I hear you. But again, I think you're hard finding anybody that wants to get hired to just follow the notes. They want to play the guitar.
I mean, especially somebody like Zack Snyder,
absolutely.
Who comes from 300.
Yes, he's got a vision. He wants to put it on
He
paper.
wants to put a stink on stuff.
And which, again, when he hits it out of the park, like Watchmen at 300, he does it. Yep. And again, I enjoy Sucker Punch. It's just when you see Watchmen and you see 300, you go, well, I see what you're capable of. Or we both talked about it. What's the Dawn of the Dead that he did, right?
Oh yeah,
That remake is fantastic.
2005.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a fun one to watch. Mickey 17, we watched over Thanksgiving.
Okay. Yeah.
Done by the guy who did Parasite.
Yes.
A very dystopian future. There's the what's his name? Oh wow, I'm bad with names today. The guy who played Hulk and Ruffalo, fantastic in it. He's so good in it, which he's clearly doing a fucking Donald Trump in it. It's so good. It's a weird movie, but fun. It's a very fun movie to watch.
Okay.
Not what I would have expected from the Parasite guy, which in some ways I'm kind of glad,
Yeah.
But that was a fun watch. What else? Oh, that Sangre del Toro.
Sangre del Toro.
Dude.
Yes. Blood of Del Toro.
Is that
Blood
what that?
of the
Okay.
Bull. Yeah.
Thank you. Amazing documentary. If you are a Del Toro fan, this is, I think, a must-watch to better understand him.
This is
and
one of
his
my
films.
things that I watched also.
It just, well, as soon as I was watching it, I'm like, Nick is, please God tell me Nick already knows this exists, because this feels like everything you would love as a Del Toro fan.
You were not wrong.
I'm
You were
not
not
surprised.
wrong. Yeah.
A really fun horror film that I have been circling for some time, and last night we finally I said, fuck it. It was like $2 on Amazon. I'm doing it. Called Strange Darling. Have you heard of this one?
Was this one of the Frankenstein ones?
No. How can I describe it without giving anything away? Essentially, what you get is it even says it at the beginning. Well, not at the very beginning, but you get Strange Darling told in 6 chapters. The chapters do not follow each other. You start in one chapter and you go backwards, and then you go a little forward, and then you go a little backwards.
That's cool.
Yeah, a woman and a man she meets and wants to have a one-night stand with ultimately, and it seems like he's trying to kill her.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and it's really good.
Right.
I enjoyed it. It lived up to what I thought. I would definitely agree with some of the people who were like, go into it blindly, which I guess you have no choice. But don't learn a lot about it. Just watch it.
Okay.
It was really good. Also funny to see Ed Begley Jr. and Barbara Hershey are both in it.
No shit. Barbara Hershey is not a stranger to horror films.
That's right. Well,
she was in
please.
The Entity.
Yeah,
which is one of my all-time favorites.
Well, it's just funny, just mainly because they play the, she at one point she said, oh, well, we're old hippies. And then later she's talking to Ed Begley. He goes, biker. And she's like, what? He goes, I'm an old biker. I'm not really an old hippie. Which is also funny for Ed Begley Jr. The most hippie dude. The guy was driving electric cars in like the 70s.
He made his own electric car.
Absolutely. I mean, that guy was collecting solar power any way he could before solar panels. Great. I highly recommend it. Very quick movie, but it got a lot of buzz, and it was one of those ones where I can understand why people tried not to say a lot about it, because you really just got to experience it, and it's really good. I would highly recommend it.
All right.
And the last thing I watched was a documentary, actually. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I cannot recommend it enough. Or actually, it's not the last thing, but it's 2 of the documentaries that I watched are the last things. It's called In Wave and War.
All right.
What it is about is PTSD that these Navy SEALs have encountered, and now how they are coping with it. And what you're finding is, and God damn it if I didn't do it, and I should have done it, I meant to do it because I wanted to kind of explain it more. What they do is they're finding out that the psychedelics are helping these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there's a specific, ones that they use, which I meant to write down, and I didn't because I'm an idiot.
Like a specific strain of mushroom.
Not mushrooms. This is one of them is a plant that they use the roots of. They go down to Mexico for this one. And then the other one is, you know what? I don't even want to speculate. I know the other one is a root of a plant. Okay. And then they use another one, which I think might be a little more manufactured, not as natural.
All right.
So it's like a 2-step thing. You do one day of this, and then you do one day of the other.
Not the ayahuasca?
No, it's not ayahuasca. It's definitely not ayahuasca.
Okay. Because
that I'm aware of. This, and again, this is being done in Mexico. I think mainly because Mexico is more open to this sort of thing because, I don't know, they're more progressive and they care about people's health. And then also because being Navy SEALs, many of them live in San Diego.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're able to just kind of cross the border and go do this. I am not in any way a spiritual person. Well, I shouldn't say in any way. I'm not a spiritual person. I don't necessarily believe in. I definitely don't believe in a God. But this is spiritual to me in the sense that these men went through a lot.
Yeah.
Through war, seeing friends die, being shot, the concussions that they got alone. And they are going to their medical facilities that are giving them anything they need, honestly, because of all the money they've spent on making these guys Navy SEALs. They get top-of-the-line medical.
Right.
But it's all pills. It's all bullshit.
Like all the SSRI type
Oh,
stuff.
it's just, and now listen, it's helping them cope, but it's masking a lot of it. It's not fixing the problem. It's coating it in oil,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
The other thing I find so interesting is many of these guys look, they're badasses. These guys do some badass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are not to be fucked with. So being vulnerable is not something they can be in it when it comes to, like, because we're team and we're men and we beat each other's chest and rah, 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 rah. And they think when they go into this, that's what they'll be confronting is like, oh, when my buddy died. And it's like,
Right.
oh, no, my friend. What you're going to be confronting is that dad that you loved and you thought loved you, which he did, but his love and the way he showed it was not good. It was abusive. And that's why you are the way you are. That's why you can't cope with the things that you're coping with.
Sure.
You know? And to see these guys who, what they loved about being a Navy SEAL was the camaraderie and the brotherhood and the idea that I would put my life on the line for you and I'd do anything for you because you do the same for me. And feeling like that's the only way to show that. And now having to be in these vulnerable places and then tell their buddies, hey, man, I know of a way, and you're probably going to cry. And by the way, you can't stop the ride.
Yeah.
And watch these otherwise tough dudes that if you handed a machine gun and said, go into that house and kill as many people, no problem.
Yeah.
But now you say, I need you to do this, and you're going to sit here and you're probably going to confront some shit that's going to fuck you up for a little bit. They're like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I am a big fan of this type of treatment.
For sure.
For any type of trauma encountered in the
Yes.
past. Because there are more than enough studies out there by now
Right.
that have proven this to be effective. You know,
And this, and just to interrupt real quickly, this is actually so they follow 3 guys mainly, but they also, Stanford apparently does this study also.
Yeah.
So you get to see pre-interviews and post-interviews of these guys.
I was about to mention the fact that I thought it would have been Stanford,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they at one point were having trouble, or one of the reasons one of their studies took so long was because the U.S. government was making their research materials, aka the psychedelic, the actives.
Well, and at least from what I gather in here, Stanford themselves doesn't do the experiment.
Right.
You
right.
go down to Mexico and do that.
go
They
down,
get
right.
the data and they work with it through there because exactly. And now this documentary, obviously this was not the point, but I'm interested to know too.
Yeah.
What are some of the delays? Why? How much more information do we need before we start realizing what this can do for people? And you're right. That doesn't have to just be for Navy SEALs. I've watched ones too where other psychedelics, what they have done for people who are like rape victims, who are child abuse victims. And, one of the guys described it as, it's not a cure. What it did is like it took all my files and put them back in order.
Well, I mean,
It allowed me to kind of focus, and now I have and as he said, now I have to do the work.
Yeah.
Because if one of the things I thought was really brave of him is that if you think you're going to go down there, do some drugs, and come home and everything's going to be wonderful, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You're going to be situated in a way that you can figure it all out, but you're going to have to do the work, and that's where and you're talking to these people's wives and children who are like, I walk in and my dad's got a fucking 9mm loaded while he's watching TV and telling me to get out of the room.
Yeah.
And it's then to see these guys
like that's a response to something.
Oh,
right?
these guys, I mean, again, what these guys have gone through just on a battlefield alone.
Sure.
Let alone what you find out their childhood was like. What you
Yeah,
go, do you not see how this has informed everything?
And that's I total disclosure,
Mm-hmm.
I am a fan of the gifts that the planet
Yes.
gives to mankind. Which includes mushrooms
Mm-hmm.
and other, psychedelics that I can find and get my hands on.
Right on.
But yeah, I'm not I won't go fully into it, but I have my own traumas. Being blind, becoming blind later in life,
Sure.
is one of them, and there was a major depression and period of anger that went with that, and taking these types of medications kind of helped me ease into the acceptance of what my life is now and stuff.
I can
like that.
imagine.
So, like, imagine somebody who's put up, and you're literally taking lives, right? And
right.
the just not even the emotional toll, but like the mental breakdown. What you have, just the walls you have to put up to be able to accept that you are taking the life of another person.
Absolutely.
Right. The fact that something like this can help you, maybe not so much make sense, but process it in a way that
yes,
you can go on with your life.
Yes.
Even though these really bad things
Yes.
happened. You know, I'm all for that.
Yeah,
I'm all for
absolutely.
that. Like I know a lot of people usually get scared because, you know, it is scary
Oh.
when you think like, oh, I ate that cap or that stem from that plant.
Well, I think for a lot of these guys too, they're giving up control, and
That's
these are
what it
type
is.
A personality
That's
guys.
what it is, yeah.
And that scares the hell out of them. But what they find is you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to do these things, your brothers are there with you. You know, there is a great scene where the guy kind of like fuck, and he kind of wants to run off, and they kind of go over and they don't grab him. They just let him sit down, and then they put their hands on his shoulders. We're here.
Yeah,
And he's just like, I don't know, man. I feel like I just need you. And they're like, we're not going anywhere, dude. We're here until it's over, bro. And it's just like, it's so, you know, one of the things they pointed out, this is how many Navy SEALs have died from, I believe from, from, what do you call it? Iraq up until the end of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
More now have committed suicide than died in war.
Right. Yeah.
Something has to be done. And it's clear that these people have found something.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I'm all for it. And the other part is, I don't mean in any way to disparage or make light of, but it's just to say, by the way, I don't want guys who are trained to be Navy SEALs to have mental problems.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I would like them to get the help that they need.
I also don't think the U.S. prepared itself for that to be one of the results.
Because they don't care. Once
they don't care,
you're a
right?
tool. You're nothing more than a tool to them.
And I think that also speaks into why it's not more widespread as far as treatment.
Yeah, well,
right?
yeah.
Because there are unfortunately companies and entities out
Yes.
there that would rather make it a lot more difficult and have you depend on stuff than for you to get the actual treatment you need, deserve, and would like.
And as they explain in the documentary, it's also tough to get these guys who are, let's be honest, not a lot of liberals signing up to be Navy SEALs. And what I mean by that are hippie. I'm not saying these guys are, you know, hardcore right wing, you know, but for the most part, they're fairly conservative people. They love their country. They want to serve it. They want to be a badass. Da 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 da. So then you go, hey, you want to do some drugs? And they're like, fuck that. Of course, then they go get shit faced on beer.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like that, they are typical, quite frankly, and when it comes to drugs, a typical American.
Yeah.
I don't want to do drugs. Oh, but this is prescribed and this has a commercial, so therefore I'm not doing drugs.
It's a conservative approach
It is.
when it comes to drugs.
So
and
it's very difficult to get these guys to kind of get over that hump too, they show.
Sure.
And understandably so. But the benefits are so wonderful for these people who do love their family, they love their brothers, and they want to see. And again, to me, like, to see people get help when they need it, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And the fact that it could just be a plant that is grown, what the fuck are we doing here, everybody?
Yeah,
let's do this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, but there is this could go into a whole ass.
Oh,
other
sure.
conversation
No,
about,
I
like,
know.
the commercialization
Yes.
of marijuana.
No
right?
doubt.
But when like Mary Jane was made a little bit more accessible, honestly, a lot of people relaxed.
Yeah,
right? Like a lot of people.
I think a lot of people have been helped by it, and again, when we can do it naturally, I think I'm even more for it. You know what I mean? Yep. It's just to say again, people need help, and when we're going to ask these guys to some degree, whether you agree with what they do or not, I'm not here to debate that.
Yeah.
When a government asks this of its people, the least you can do when it's all said and done and they're having these problems is do whatever you can to help them.
To help, yeah.
And I don't understand, other than our puritanical bullshit hatred of drugs, which we don't actually hate drugs. We only hate drugs we can't make money off of. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's so upsetting. So that's why it's so wonderful to watch this. And, you know, they've spent pretty much the first part of that documentary really going into, these are things I saw at war. These are things I went through as a kid. And you need to go through that so that when they start their journey to come out the other side, you understand like how difficult this must have been for them, you know? And there is a wonderfulness to it. There is a happiness to it at the end, but you're also frustrated because you just go like, why does it seem like we have this solution and we're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Why should these people have to go cross a border when it can be grown here too? Or more importantly, keep it a secret. Let them cross a border. I don't care. Give some money to Mexico.
Well,
but why is it got to be this secret thing that they can't,
Honestly, there's a part of this conversation that leads to like the houses where people can use.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
No,
where
listen.
it's monitored and you have somebody supervising the whole experience. I'm all for that.
I know you are.
I am 100%.
I know you are, and that's why, like I said, that's why I brought it, because I love that stuff, and I hope there's. I think generationally, if we make it that far, I do think these will start to relax more as we start to see drugs for what they really are and some of their benefits and understand. And I just think that anytime we can get back to more natural, it's just better all the way around.
It's gonna heal you, man.
Yeah.
Like I mean, Amy, my wife.
Yeah.
She's as all natural as can be, being vegan. So like, she already is, I think, a few steps ahead of the curve in that, like. She's not gotten sick in a long time.
I gotcha.
So if something like this can help the mental faculties as well, like let's give it a shot.
Yeah,
because what have you to lose?
Right,
you're already in a really bad place.
Yes,
it's not gonna get worse.
And number one for me is your body. You do whatever the hell you want. I don't care what consenting adults want to do with their body. That's fine. Yeah. Last one. It just came out over the weekend. I'd be lying to say I'm a fan of him in general. They did a music box, HBO on Jeff Buckley.
Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna be the Sean Combs documentary.
Oh no, God no. I'm good with that. Whatever. I don't know enough about it, and I don't really want to know enough about it, to be completely honest with you. But it's Jeff Buckley. I'm not a huge fan. I'm really not a fan. I've tried Grace 1,000 times. It just doesn't click with me. I get it. Super talented. What a voice. The whole thing. What I think I really liked about this documentary, and being a music fan, I usually watch stuff whether I like them or not, because I just like to learn. What I think I liked about this the most was one of the things he's obviously known for heavily is his cover of Hallelujah from Leonard Cohen. And I think just about anyone else would have titled this Hallelujah, the Jeff Buckley story. And they barely touch on it.
Nice.
And I appreciated that because I know he's more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And quite frankly, I don't really like his version anyway. So it just was one of those things where I kind of went into it with a little chip on my shoulder. I'm not going to lie, where I was like, oh, God, now I got to listen to how, he's so great and we lost out, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a talented guy. I think the two things I took away that really was like, I had no idea. One, him and Chris Cornell, big time friends. Yeah, he's a huge Soundgarden fan, and when he got to meet him, the two of them had this connection that was just really cool. That's cool. And the other thing that it was said by him, and then other people said they felt it the first time they heard him, which it never occurred to me, but I went, yeah, is one of his biggest influences, Nina Simone. And I love me some Nina Simone. And when they were kind of playing him back, yeah, I can kind of hear that, But it's good, especially if you're a Jeff Buckley fan. I cannot recommend it enough. I think it is really authentic to who he was. It's very respectful to all of it, and it's not, again, it wasn't the Hallelujah, the Jeff Buckley story, you know what I mean? And it was very interesting to just kind of see it all, the whirlwind that was Jeff Buckley.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that. The HBO does those music boxes. They're all really good. Some will be topics, maybe, the Kenny G one may not be for everyone.
Yeah,
I totally understand.
I skipped that one, the Yacht Rock
one. The Yacht Rock one was great. I love that one. But
I'll probably skip Jeff Buckley because
Well, the one I probably will skip is, I think their next one's going to be about the Counting Crows, and you can count me out.
Yeah.
I'd rather hang with Mr. Jones.
Go eat crow.
Yeah. So, but again, great documentary series. But that documentary in particular, I know a mutual friend of ours, he watched it. He absolutely loved it. He's a huge Jeff Buckley fan. So I told him about it, and he's like, "Thank you. That thing was amazing." So yeah.
Right on.
How about yourself? What you been watching?
We finished up The Chair Company.
Okay. Yes, we did too.
Which is. Which is a mind fuck of a fucking show, right? Like,
did they know they were going to get a second season, or is this what we were going to be left with? That's
one thing. Like towards the end, even Amy and I were both like, "Then this is it."
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah.
Because what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right. Like if you've ever watched a movie and it just ends.
Yeah. That's what this.
But what's happening at the end also does not make sense.
Yeah.
then be prepared for a
I don't know that
wild
any of
fucking
the
ride.
show makes sense in certain ways.
No, because even the discovery of Mike,
Right.
the guy, you know, and how like, oh man, I feel bad for him. He's just trying to get it with his family again, and then you find out what happens with that,
Yes.
and it's like, oh, am I the bad guy then?
Well,
or like,
dude, it's every time you take a shovelful, it's 3 shovelfuls
Yes.
down deeper, and you're just
Yes.
like, okay, I don't know what we're doing here, but I cannot turn away.
I can't turn away. I need to re-listen to lines because of the reactions. Everyone's reactions are just. It's almost like they said, "Here's the Far Side comic.
Yeah.
Make a TV series out of it, but like overreact the entire time.
Yeah, but also like, let them cook.
Let them cook. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Let
I
Tim
don't know how
Robinson-
many notes they're getting.
Yeah,
And it's just like, it shows that if you can be, you won't have a massive audience. This isn't going to beat, the last episode of MASH anytime soon.
Right.
But it's still like, you can find this niche audience that will, as Lemmy once said about his fans, there's not many of them, but the ones that do will kill for us.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, yeah, like it's like we talked about this earlier when we were first both watching this. There's a Nathan Fielder thing to this.
I was about to say
They are kissing cousins in a lot of ways, man.
There is, but even with the Nathan Fielder stuff, like a lot of that I feel is premeditated.
Oh,
Because like he's doing the weirdness, but it's gonna amount to something at some point.
no doubt about it. There's a
right?
culmination at the end
Yes.
that we never saw it coming, especially in this last episode. That's what it was going to be. But
Oh,
yes, the chair
dude.
company, you're just like, I don't know where we're going anymore.
Even when and I'm gonna give
Please.
away certain
No.
spots,
Yeah, yeah.
and so anyone out there who might
Skip
not
ahead.
skip ahead right now. When he sees the chairs at City Hall,
Oh God, yes.
I'm like, fucking yes.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna get to
Right
the bottom
there,
of it.
yes,
and
yes.
I'm
there they are. They're taking him out of the back of the
there
car,
they
putting
are.
him in the warehouse.
That's what
now
he was
we're about to
looking for.
find it out. Yeah.
And then he wakes up at his house like
Yes.
the next day, and I'm like, wait a minute. How do you go home? You were just
totally,
at the...
totally subverting everything you think a
Everything.
regular TV
Yes.
show should do.
Yeah.
Constantly, every time you think, oh well, this is what normal television should do, they go, yeah. Have you seen us?
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't do normal television.
pushes his boss, who might I add, Lou Diamond
I
Phillips.
know, right?
What the fuck? I don't know.
And then he does karaoke and doesn't do La Bamba. What the fuck?
That
Come
is a
on.
crime in and of itself. But like what? Again, everything's well acted.
Oh.
Weird fucking community.
Weird. Yes.
Just everyone's weird.
Yes.
Everyone. The old guys, like the way they're talking to him, like this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Being at the top of your game.
And again, I know you can't see. There's also like, I don't mean to be mean, but as a fellow ugly person, like there are some fucking ugly people on this show where you're just like, where are you? Are you going to the DMV and finding these people? County fairs? Like, my God, they're like, there is just a weirdness to every face where you're just like. And none of them are people like, oh, I've seen that guy in 5 other things. No,
Right.
if I have, they were an extra because I would remember that face.
that little weird kind of side storyline where he falls off the fucking chair.
Oh.
Going back to the first episode.
Yeah, go for it.
And he accidentally sees
Yes.
upskirt one of his coworkers.
Yes.
And so they call HR in.
Right.
And now HR's tasking themselves, by
Yes.
the way, with like, we want to see if this goes, like
Right.
if this.
Well, you
if
guys
there's
do have a
something
history
here.
together because you went to high school
Yeah,
together. He's
exactly. Like, I wanna see how
we didn't date. I wouldn't be around her. She was a loser.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, wow. And
Yeah,
for her to be the loser and not him.
Well, yeah, and
right?
then
Like,
also just the part like where then the one where it's the 2 HR people, and then he's essentially living at the office,
at the office. Yeah.
and then calls his parents because he like, what the fuck is going on
Yeah,
here, dude?
This is weird. I don't know that it's weird for weirdness' sake.
No.
Because it doesn't feel that way.
No, I think it's one of those things, like musically speaking,
Yeah.
where they think this is what funny should be. Like I was saying a couple episodes, I think it was maybe last episode, Mike Patton puts out Peeping Tom and he goes, well, to me, this is what FM music is, right? And then you listen to it and you're like, Tom, who's playing this? Nobody's playing this, Mike. What are you talking about? But in his mind, and I think it's the same with them. To them, they're like, this is what a show should be, right? Like, I mean, they're being creative. They want to, there's certain things they're doing purposely, but it's not for the sake of it. It's because this is how they would write a show. This is how they want it to be.
I also almost feel like this is the brighter side of what the community in Twin Peaks might be like.
Okay.
Because everyone in Twin Peaks is a fucking character.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Okay.
Like, if you ever, have the time.
I've seen bits. I've seen enough to understand what your analogy, and I think you are absolutely.
But
yeah.
like everyone, there's something hidden, in Twin
Yeah,
Peaks.
oh,
Like, there's a dark underlying
there is.
thing,
Yes.
right? And in this community, it's like, well, that's just as weird as the other one, but
Yeah.
this one isn't threatening.
Yes. Yeah.
This
yes,
one,
yes.
like, even though people
Yeah,
get
yeah.
hurt and shit like that, but like, it's funny. I can walk through it
Yeah, yeah.
and not be scared.
Yeah, there's no
Right.
threat there. It's just like the part of the town that doesn't know that Laura Palmer's been murdered.
Exactly.
You
This
know?
is This is the other high school.
They're not being investigated.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly,
But
yeah.
it's also just like, why does the guy in the bar have to have a dent in his head, and why is he so mad that he puts his elbow in the soup? Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
the fuck, dude? You know, it just no.
It's so good, dude. It's
If
good.
for-
I'm glad that like Tim Robinson is the
For
guy
sure.
that's doing it, because I don't think this
No.
would fit anybody else.
Well, and I think that's another beautiful thing. Like when you see great shows, a lot of times they are singular, right?
Yep.
Breaking Bad was Vince Gilligan.
Yeah.
Sopranos is the guy whose name I cannot
David
remember.
Chase.
Thank you. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of times we see this over and over again when they let these people just cook
Yeah.
and do their thing, and not a bunch of notes and not a bunch of producers go, well, you know what you should do? Make him more lovable.
Yeah.
No. Shut up. Let them do their thing.
them
And
just do
HBO
this thing.
is the
Yeah.
perfect place for this.
Oh, it's so good.
If
So,
nothing else, no one's going to ever watch this and go, oh, I think I've seen this kind of thing before.
nobody,
you haven't.
nobody, not in the history
No.
of histories will you ever look at this show and be like, oh, I know what it's gonna
Yeah.
be. No. Just watch it, have fun. Don't try to make sense of
No.
it, because you're not.
You're
gonna,
not going to.
You're gonna just lose every single
Just
time.
let Jesus take the wheel. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, whatever that means to Christians
Yeah.
in this way, do the same.
Yeah.
Take your hands
Yeah.
off the wheel and just let the car drive,
Yeah.
dude.
So Chair
Don't,
Company was
Fucking
fantastic.
great.
Yeah,
Great.
it was fantastic.
Yes.
So next one was Sangre del Toro,
Right.
which again, Blood of Del Toro or Blood of the Bull.
Okay.
Which is very apropos. Like you said, it is a fantastic view into the creative mind of Guillermo del Toro. A lot of this, is kind of known to his fans.
Sure.
But hearing him speak
Yes.
on his life coming up,
Right.
I gotta say this. I see myself
Yeah.
as an artistic person from time to time.
I agree.
But the way he speaks
Yes.
on any given
Yes.
subject is just so intellectual.
Yes.
So thoughtful.
It's as
you
beautiful as his pictures.
know? 100%.
Yeah.
He speaks in poetry.
He really,
almost,
really
you
does.
know?
Yes.
And I honestly, I found myself kind of tearing up a
Right.
couple times, because I'm just like, I know what you're talking about. Like, I have also experienced this, or I've witnessed this. Maybe not in the same time frames.
No, I got you.
But and it did lead me to create this other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when he speaks of visiting the Dia de los Muertos festival
Yes.
in Guadalajara with his grandmother,
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I had a grandmother,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
also
No,
went
this
to one
is-
of these
this is-
things,
Like I said, when I'm watching it, I'm going like, I know not all Mexicans have the same fucking experience.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just there are certain things in the culture. When
Well,
he's talking about his
yeah.
grandmother, telling him about the mix of Catholicism,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also old wives'
world,
tales,
yeah, yeah.
and putting those together. And I'm like, I know Nick has talked to me about
Yeah.
that. I've had other Mexican friends tell me the same style of
Yeah,
stories,
no, and
it's just this interesting connection that it's like if you're there and you're part of it, you understand it 100%.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, and it's crazy to, much like Chelsea Wolfe
Mm-hmm.
earlier, when you're aware of Del Toro's movies, going back from Kronos,
Mm-hmm.
Blade 2, and everything, and he's at the point where he's at now, where he's literally calling the shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's saying, I want to make Frankenstein, and he made Frankenstein.
Netflix backs up the truck and gives him whatever money he wants.
Here you go. Yeah.
Here's the keys to the throne. It's
Yeah,
yours.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
It is.
I love seeing somebody's career kind of not culminate, because I know it's not over.
Yes.
But
I know what you, yes.
it rises to the point that it's at, and it's like, yeah, man, like you deserve all the
Yeah,
accolades,
yeah.
all the fucking accolades.
He's put the time in. It's
Yes.
clearly these are labors of
Cares.
love.
Like when they had him talking about the toy models that he was putting together.
Yes.
And he goes to the religious store to buy the pastels.
Yes.
Like that's an experience that a nerd has.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it's an experience that like nerds across the world have been like, well, I've had to make do and replace my creativity in certain ways.
I hear you.
Or not replace replace how I will be creative.
I got you.
And here's literally one of the masters telling you how I did it.
Yeah.
You know, and
And
I
it
don't
might
know.
be very similar to how you did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
yeah.
there's no separation.
Not at all.
You know,
Not
maybe
at
I
all.
had an opportunity that you didn't get, but that doesn't mean you maybe you won't be the greatest director in the world, but there's other artistic ways you can do it. Because look where I did it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
And just hearing him talk about his process
Yeah.
and how he works with others, it's awe-inspiring.
It really
honestly.
is.
It's fucking awe-inspiring. I loved it so much.
Yeah. No, like I said, when I watched it, I was just like, oh, God, I hope Nick sees this. He's got to see this, dude. This is like, I mean, it just made me fall in love with him that much more.
That much more, yeah. And what I liked, and maybe a bit of a spoiler, fucking David Cronenberg,
Yes.
of all people, comes in and speaks highly of Del Toro. And, not to be outdone, Japanese horror master Junji Ito
Yep.
comes out and also speaks highly of Del Toro, which for me is like, that's game recognizing game.
It really, that's exactly how I saw it. Was like, he is not David Cronenberg, but obviously he borrows from David Cronenberg.
Yeah.
And you just go like, of course Cronenberg is like, especially as weird as Cronenberg shit is.
Yes.
So when he sees something like that, he's got to feel pretty like, oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
and-
for the nod.
Exactly. Yeah, because when Del Toro talks about like him kind of using body horror in his way, and as soon as you hear the phrase body horror,
right.
your mind goes to one person,
Yep.
and that's Cronenberg.
Absolutely.
And then there he is.
Yes.
Right. And then when he's talking about like almost like the normality of the, what's the word? Maybe normality is not the right word, but just like the mundane averageness of normal life, and how even in that there's something that if it's skewed a little differently becomes horrible.
Oh, yeah.
That's Junji Ito.
Yeah.
Right. And then they both talk about how
Yes.
like they take from each other, or
Yes.
how one respects the other.
Yes.
It's such
look.
a great fucking documentary.
And just a confirmation of, okay, I knew I was an idiot to say
yeah,
this
exactly.
guy's a genius.
Yeah, that's
Like,
exactly what.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I knew he was great, and now everyone else gets to see.
And one thing I will say too that I obviously I could get out of it that you are unable to get out of it is as he's going through that museum, seeing all those pieces what we got to see at
the
his
museum.
When he was at the LACMA.
Yeah.
And it was just neat seeing those all again because that was such an experience.
So that is the Bleak House experience. Bleak House is famously his, maybe his home even, but it's what he calls like his warehouse where he keeps.
Well,
all
the
his
thing,
stuff.
at least what they kept showing outside, if
It's a
that's his
museum.
house, wow, it's more of a museum.
It's a
than-
museum.
okay.
It's a space in
But it's
Guadalajara.
amazing,
Yeah.
and there's actually far more stuff in it than what was at LACMA.
Oh yeah. No,
I mean,
the actual Bleak House I
Yeah.
think has way like it could not be stored at LACMA.
I mean,
you know?
dude, and LACMA had a shit ton of stuff, man.
Because I remember I was
Yeah, you
kind
could
of-
still
I
see
was
for the
still
most.
seeing,
Yeah,
and I actually took a bunch of pictures of like, the Pale Man,
Yeah,
and
dude.
the fairies, the fauna,
dude, all the
fauna,
Hellboy stuff he
all
has,
the
dude.
Hellboy shit. Yeah.
I mean, the helmet from Bram Stoker.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
just he just God, he has so much amazing shit, dude. And like also original Sleeping Beauty cells.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I love how those, it just like I said, he
he is a fantastic individual.
He really is.
His creativity is
it knows no bounds.
none at all. And even the fact that like when he does introduce any semblance of like religion, it's not the religion that you're familiar with. It's like,
I know.
oh, this is what almost a childlike
Yeah.
perspective on religion is.
Well, and we talked about it with the Frankenstein. The reality is, and I think I told you, I really wish I could find it. I want to find that quote where he's like, I don't make horror movies, but I use the horror aesthetics
Yeah.
in my movie. And you realize, like, yes, like he really tells fairy tales. Is what he really tells,
Which-
and it's just like it's beautiful.
We're
And-
gonna have to make a fairy tale movie category.
Well, I mean, he's he's number one. I mean, you know, the Brothers Grimm have been dead for a long time, so you
and
know
that was two of them. This is just one.
It's just one. And it's just like, I like I said, I knew you'd love it, and I was just, it's so
fucking
good.
great.
Anybody who's a fan, you got to see it.
Even if you're not a fan.
well,
I would say, even if
listen,
you're not a fan,
I
and
agree.
you like anything that
If you like anything that he's ever done,
if
if you want to understand his inspiration,
yes, yeah, because
Especially.
he goes into the noir stuff.
Yeah.
The fact that he said he saw that carnival in Mexico,
yeah,
and that's what he like depicted in Nightmare Alley.
right.
That's so fucking.
It's great
because again, like I've been to carnivals like that.
I hear you.
like,
No,
where the freaks of nature.
Yeah,
are, right? Yeah. It's so good.
no. Like,
What was the other thing? Oh, I took a bit of a step backwards and I watched Hellraiser.
the first
first
one.
one?
Okay.
Very, very fucking whack ass movie. Maybe the budgeting wasn't there. But, but when you know where it comes from, which is The Hellbound Heart, which is a very short story by Clive Barker, and the fact that they're able to kind of flesh it out into this thing and make an actual character of Pinhead,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
and
He's in the pantheon of all time kind of like horror
guys.
people. You see it, you know who that is, you know.
yeah, and I also kind of realized something. Pinhead is maybe the most merciful of all the Xenobites
Yeah.
because everyone else will fuck you up, and he can at least be reasoned with.
Yeah.
So like if you watch some of the later installations, which I only watched the first one this time around, but it made me think about the whole like series, and I was like, he's like people have talked him out of killing them. you know?
Yeah, no.
So like, he is probably the most humane, the most
certainly the
humanist.
most majestic with that English accent. That's
Oh,
for sure.
yeah. Well, I mean, but then you get the CD guy that shoots
Yeah,
CDs at
exactly.
you, right?
The twins with their faces.
The
curled.
twins or Chatterbox.
I just always loved, everybody's got a line, or something that, Freddie, of course, has got a billion of them, but I just remember when that guy's shooting, Jesus Christ, he's like, not quite.
Not quite. Yeah.
I just thought, oh my God, brilliant.
Yeah, because also one of his call lines or phrases is demon to some, angel to others,
Yes.
which is actually lifted. And here's my trivia for today.
Please.
It was lifted from the movie Excalibur.
Oh,
When
really?
Merlin says it,
Oh, shit. Okay.
So when Merlin is saying kind of his goodbye to King Arthur and the kingdom is falling apart,
Yeah.
and he says a variation of demon to some or dream to some, nightmare to others.
Interesting. Oh, speaking of, little 6 degrees of separation kind of thing, the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. He's also plays the doctor / wizard in Return to Oz.
Who does?
The guy who played
Merlin?
Merlin.
Oh, yeah. He also plays the mentor guy who shows Spawn his powers in
Yes.
Spawn.
Yes, it was his last film.
Yeah, Nicole something.
Yeah. I was just like, I hadn't seen Return to Oz in a long time, and I thought I'd flip
Return
it
to
on.
Oz is a great movie.
It's great. Although, Jesus Christ, I can't believe that was for kids. 'Cause
It was fucking
there's some
scary, man.
fucking
The
scary
fucking
part.
roller guys?
Dude,
Yeah.
the fucking the heads? What
Yeah.
the fuck are we doing?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, man. But still, fantastic movie. And I realized I was looking at him going, why do I know him? Looking at son of a bitch, it's Merlin. What do you know?
Yeah.
The man who told me Arnold Northrock.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no.
Anyway, sorry, Hellraiser.
The other movie I saw after Hellraiser was one that you've seen that I had only listened to the last 5 minutes of.
Okay.
This was The Substance.
Ah,
I finally got to sit down and enjoy this movie.
right on.
What a great fucking movie.
Talk about Cronenberg, right? Like, Cronenberg was watching that and going, I think I have a fan.
Yeah. I was like, have I been bested? Yeah, because this is whack fucking movie. Demi Moore acts her ass off
Dude.
in this. I forget the
Yeah, I
other
can't-
actress's, is it Morgan something?
Something. I'm bad.
And
again.
I feel horrible.
I
I'm
do too,
referencing
but
her.
I'll look her up while you're talking.
But yeah, like they're both acting their asses
Really
off.
are.
And even what's his face, Quaid,
Dude.
right? Dennis Quaid.
Which who was originally supposed to be, right? was
Homeboy who died from Goodfellas, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And came in at the last minute and did that. Now, I would love to see what Ray Liotta would have done with that. But
That would have been great.
Quaid, wow.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. But again, body horror cannot contain this enough because it is just brutality. The last sequence.
Yes.
It
Oh
is
my God.
goddamn brutal. And again, when I first encountered this movie,
Yes.
Amy was already watching it.
Right.
I came in at the last 5 minutes and I heard the sounds and I was like, what is this? Yeah. And now that I have context behind everything, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It sounds as gross as it
Oh,
probably
and
looks.
it is, my friend. Believe me. I didn't think you could ugly up Demi Moore, but boy, oh boy, was I wrong.
I mean, I don't know what she looks like in that whole process, but goddamn, it sounded nasty.
Oh, the Elephant Man would have been on 50 people's 50 most beautiful list
you
compared to
remember
that.
fucking Chet from Weird Science?
Yes.
When he's the little pile
There's
of
a little
shit?
Chet in there. There is.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because Chet kind of sizzles and bubbles and
Yes,
pops a little
but
bit.
Chet, at least you see a face and
Yeah.
his eyes are in the same spot.
Yes,
and,
there's the one part
yeah.
where like the boob grows out of her fucking head.
Oh, dude, it is just
Oh, God.
And the other lady, as you were talking, I did want to look her up. Margaret Qualley, who is Andy McDowell's daughter.
No shit.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, she was fantastic. Everybody in it was just one of those movies. Just like, what the fuck? Although my wife absolutely hated it, but she was, and she's the horror one. But she was just like, I don't get it. And it's like, I don't know what. I mean, you do like. She got it what that we're trying to say, but she's like, why do I got to watch this thing explode and shoot out pus and puke over everybody? I'm like, well, I guess you don't have to, but like,
but here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just like,
no, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we don't have to watch people become wolves and vampires either. You know?
I mean, well, I'm not saying I put on the Substance again, and maybe I'd never watch it again. I'm just saying, like, for an experience, it is an experience, and it's a well-made movie that I get what they're trying to get across. It's there, and I think it's a great way to present it.
This leads me into a thing that I actually would like to make an episode out of, where horror doesn't get nearly the respect that I think it should.
Yeah, we've
and I know
we've touched on that a few times. No,
but I think this is one of those maybe a case of that type. Where, like, you're absolutely right. You don't need to see that part of the movie to get what the whole theme of it is, But I also think it kind of accentuates it and drives it home because it's something visual. Which, let's be real, 100% of the people out there rely on their vision a lot more.
Yes,
that makes it kind of hit home a lot more. Right?
And look, I do think it was trying to be gross.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't.
For sure.
It
wasn't shying away from
No,
it.
they're trying to be gross a little bit, but
And
still do the body horror stuff.
Because that whole scene when she starts changing, it is very silly.
Yes,
like with the way the people are dancing and reacting to her and everything, right? It's very like, oh man, there's a monster in our midst now, right? But for me, that kind of called back to like the older horror movies where it's like, okay, I know there's something weird happening, but like, what do I do now?
Right.
Like, oh boy, do I just keep on clapping? Or, oh god, there she goes, popping another fucking head, right?
Right.
It's like, yeah, like had I been able to see it, I'm pretty sure it would look as gross as it sounded.
Oh yeah,
but this thing sounded fucking disgusting.
It is. It's absolutely.
And then when you realize that at the end, her face is crawling basically up until the Walk of Fame, right?
Yeah.
And then it gets fucking just dissolved and wiped away.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
the symbolization
the
of her career.
It's just
all
like,
of it's
God damn,
symbolism.
man.
Yeah. It's so. I mean, I would even say there's some irony to the idea of what it is trying to say is that older actresses will do anything to stick around because of the way Hollywood treats women and on and on and on.
Yeah.
But it's also ironic that you went and got Demi Moore, who's had a lot of facial surgery and a lot of body modifications done. Now, it's her body. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. It's none of my. I'm not judging her. I'm just saying, like, you're kind of, which I did read, they were a little reluctant to cast her at first, and maybe that's why they were kind of like, well, doesn't she show exactly the thing we're trying to battle against? But then again, who else would better understand that? I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think, like I said, great movie. I thought she was great in it, and I
think she actually lost the Oscar?
She did lose the Oscar
to the actress from Mickey 17, wasn't it?
I don't know who she lost. No, she lost it to the girl from that did the one that won Best Picture that I ranted about. Should have never. She's the hooker who meets the Russian kid and marries him.
That's right. That's not the same actress?
I don't think so. Not for Mickey 17.
Okay.
No.
All right.
But
Then
again,
forget what I
one of those things where
I'm blind. I don't know.
Well, I know. It's one of those things where I didn't expect her to win. I think it was just the nomination was to say, "Boy, have we been wrong about you. You are really a great actress," and kind of making amends. Listen, if she had won, I wouldn't have been against it.
You're absolutely right that's what that was for.
Yeah.
I think she didn't win because the substance is at its bare minimum. It's a horror movie.
Yeah, that and also spitting in the face of Hollywood a little bit.
Of course, yeah. They will fucking
don't like to
fall
be made
over
fun of.
themselves, congratulating themselves, and award themselves all the awards for that, right? La La Land and shit like that, right? But for something like this, they're going to be like, maybe
we'll
not.
nominate you, but you don't get to win because you're making fun of us.
You get invited to the party, but you're sitting at the back table. Yeah.
And as they say, it's an honor just to be nominated.
Well, yeah. That is
They're all full of shit.
Yeah, so that was actually it.
Right on.
I guess I didn't really watch too much stuff.
Hey, those are all good quality shit, if nothing else.
Yeah, I goofed and I listened to a lot more stuff.
Hey, I've been through
you will
those days.
Hear about
Believe
what
me.
I listened to next time.
Yeah.
we come at you. But thank you so much for joining us again. Check out Chelsea Wolfe's music if you haven't done already. Check out any of the documentaries or movies we spoke about.
Please.
And we'll catch you next time.
Right on.
Howdy, folks. Thank you so much for spending time with us here at the rehearsal room. If you've got any recommendations you'd like for us to check out, whether it's a band, a movie, or anything else you think we'd be interested in, you can write to us at therehearsalroompod@gmail.com, all one word. We're also over on Instagram or Facebook, or even YouTube. You can also find us on any of the popular platforms for podcasts. And if you happen to know anybody that would be interested in any of the subjects we're talking about, please make sure to refer this show over to them. Make sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to us, and we'll catch you soon.